Hi all and welcome to Parker's Reefs. Today's episode comes out of Wollongong, New South Wales. Ironically, I'm here on a work conference learning about innovation and technology. Yet, when we look at our own hobby, innovation and technology coming out of Australia, the best place to look is Hmahli Marine Life Support Systems. These guys are producing some amazing acrylic gear which is really making a huge impact on the world scene. So Eric,
welcome.
Thanks for having me, man.
No worries.
I'm here at Hmahli headquarters in Wollongong, Sydney, Australia. And I want to find out the man behind Hmahli, the family behind Hmahli, and the story behind Hmahli. So run us through, how did things get to here?
All right, basically, being a hobbyist like the rest of us, being more in the freshwater game my whole life, built myself my dream home, decided that I wanted to do an in-wall fish tank. That's pretty much where it all stemmed from. Initially going freshwater with that build, purchased all the equipment, I planned to run multiple canisters. Then the day came when I decided that it was time to go fish shopping, get this tank up and running, and then went into the local aquarium store, looking at all the salt water. Always, my heart was always set on salt, but there's all that element of fear, not succeeding with it, hearing all the, how hard it might be, this and that. Pretty much got talked in by the salesman saying, it's not as hard as what you might think, you think it is. So pretty much that's where it all started from.
So going from a salesman saying it's not that hard to standing in your garage, it's been converted into a workshop producing acrylic life support systems that get shipped all around the world. I mean, it's not really a natural progression, but...
No, not at all. When I decided that I was going to go saltwater, like I said, I purchased multiple canisters. Obviously, I'm running a pretty decent sized volume tank. And then it was like back to the drawing board. I was looking at multiple systems online, different sumps, predominantly everything getting manufactured overseas. There was nothing really here on offer. There were brands, obviously, like your Royal Exclusives and things like that, but just couldn't justify the cost. So I just went down to my local hardware, purchased a few sheets of Perspex, and built my own sump. By all means, there was nothing to look at, but it worked. It served me for a good 12 months. In that period, I started tinkering with other little acrylic products that I was making for friends, things like that. And then in that time, just doing research, seeing what was available here in Australia, if there was anybody manufacturing, and just nobody here just sort of pursuing that. So, talking with a few retailers and people, big players in the Australian hobby, I sort of, decided that I was going to, take it on, and this is where I am today. So,
despite having 5 trades under your belt, none of them are plastic work. You just decided to jump into it and give it a go, and
pretty much,
self-taught. Now all of a sudden you're producing basically ultimate quality acrylic gear that's now been recognised worldwide and is being shipped from every corner of the globe from Wollongong here.
Pretty much. So everything.
Now, speaking of high-end reefing, you've got a couple of sumps here that are almost complete. They're ready to go to their new homes. You want to just walk us through what's involved on a Hmahli sump?
No worries. So this one here is just about to go out the door. That's all packaged up, ready to go. So that's going to be getting in a custom crate next week. So what we've got here, these are 2 identical sumps. These are for the Aqua 400s. The one at the bottom there, the red one, that's for Galleria Aquatica. We actually built one of them recently for Galleria Aquatica, which I think Cam done a YouTube video on one of the installs of it.
Yeah, I'll be sure to add a link in the comments.
And been a huge hit. We've had a lot of inquiries about these sumps. Great sump. It's a compact sump, but very functional. Obviously, this one's 95% finished. So basically, obviously, you've got your 1.5 inch input, which will be here, which will have a 1.5 inch bulkhead. Lids on all the chambers except the skimmer chamber. Basically, all your lids are recessed, so it keeps everything nice, clean. Goes with our sleek design. So in your first chamber, you've got your silencer chamber. You've got your 2 filter socks, which are recessed as well. Then it comes into your skimmer chamber. You'll have your adjustable baffle in there so you can set your water height.
Yep.
You've got your bubble trap position behind that. Then behind here, you've got a media chamber. and then obviously a shelf so your media can sit on that, so that way there's no dead zones. Water will pass perfectly right through all your media. There's another baffle, adjustable baffle in that chamber before your water enters your return chamber. So
Yeah, nice.
quite a few functions, and obviously the ability to modify customize a few things in this sump for your install. You've got all your John Guest inputs, which will be located here. You've got we're all John Guest fitting bulkheads. You've got your 2 bulkheads here, which is obviously your main feedback to your tank. Then you've got an auxiliary one here too. So, and also you've got quite a generous return pump chamber on that. So you can drop your heater in there. You can run multiple pumps in there, no problems.
Yep.
And then in the front section here, you've got your built-in ATO as well. So
Yeah, nice. I also noticed you've got these nice little grooves here for power cords and things to come through.
so all your cutouts for all your power cords, so that way your lids still sit down and they're not interrupted by any cords or anything like that.
Just to keep that real sleek
Yeah,
look.
just to keep everything nice and clean. So
And then you've got that beautiful Hmahli engraving on the front.
yeah, that's our signature, mate. So some people say it's too big. I think it's too small.
And for those who haven't seen, you also light these sumps up as well, and that just makes that logo pop even more. Yeah?
Yes. So these haven't had the lights installed yet, but these
Yep.
these come standard with the LED lighting, so which also adds to the effects of it.
Definitely.
So obviously, yeah, they come in obviously these 2 colors. They come in white as well. So you're pretty much red, blue, and white. So and these are one of our first off-the-shelf sumps that we're offering now. Obviously, there's a lot of people with these setups that just aren't happy with the sumps that are offered with the packages. So definitely looking at getting upgrades. We've got them here for you. So
Fantastic.
yeah, so basically this is just sort of an accessory line. So obviously, we're doing our auto top-ups. Reservoirs, so we've got these in a couple of different sizes. We do a 15 litre and a 30 litre. These are off the shelf. We do custom as well. These are our new media reactors that we've just brought to market. These are more for the US market, obviously, which was a request from Eric Cohen. But these are obviously we're going to start pushing these to the Australian market in the coming weeks. So we've got coral viewers, we've got our dosing vessels as well, which come in a couple different sizes. Again, we also do custom sizes. These dosing vessels are a huge hit. I literally struggle to keep up with the orders on them. These again here are our dosing vessel bases. So this is one of our LED bases here. So it comes with remote control. Really nice visual if people want to have that sort of upmarket, nice fancy look to their system. That's just the standard base for our dosing vessels. Plus we've also got a range of other products as well, like fish feeders. We also do dosing manifolds as well. So just a little few accessories that we've got here hanging up on the wall.
Nice.
Most of our stuff is all based on custom stuff. So we've got our ghost overflow boxes that we make. We can make them to any size, any specifications that you might want. We're building at the moment a Hmahli all-in-one plug-and-play frag system. I've been posting photos of that up in the last few weeks on my page. Actually, I just finished building the glass tank for it yesterday, so that just needs a little bit of finishing off. Hopefully by the end of this week, it should be pretty much ready to go. So yeah, watch out for that one, guys. So the frag tank itself is made out of 40mm box steel frame, 1200 kilo rated caster wheel, so this thing can actually be wheeled around whilst running.
Wow.
Not really designed for that, more so designed so obviously once you've drained your tank you can cart it around, more for commercial aspect for stores if they want to relocate, or change the design of their layout of their store, things like that. But it's a fully functional, it's not just your normal little conventional sort of weir on sump on the back that most frag tanks have in display events, where I know from previous events a lot of people have had issues with their frags, suffering, not getting the right amount of flow filtration, whatnot. So obviously this is something that we're going to offer to those people that are, dealing with high-end frags, big systems, that we can just cater for. So
Yeah, awesome.
yeah.
All right, tell us about these resin reactors and why they're taking the world by storm.
Okay, so basically these are we'll start with this one. These are our resin reactors that we've developed for Blue Life USA. I was contacted by Eric Cohen, the owner of Blue Life USA, in regards to designing and manufacturing a specific built reactor for his line of resins. So basically, he approached me at Reef last year in Sydney, and yeah, basically we exchanged our details, had a good laugh, and then about a month later he contacted me asking, for me if I could put something together for him. So working closely with him for about 6 months, coming up with multiple prototypes, different designs. This is the end result. So,
what's the specific requirements for a resin reactor over any other reactor?
Okay, so basically your normal conventional reactor, they're more designed for a high flow. So obviously with your GFOs, your carbons, things like that. These specific resins, these are his resins here, Blue Life resins. So the idea of these resins is that they are designed for a slow flow. So the more water contact time, the more potent the product is. So the more efficient, obviously the efficiency of it. And in order to do that, we had a few issues in regards to when it comes to designing them, but we finally, we got all the bugs out of them in the end. And yeah, the efficiency of these reactors coinciding with these resins are phenomenal, showing really good results. So
you can recharge these resins inside the reactor?
Correct.
You don't need to pull the resin out?
No. So that was a huge thing that we sort of wanted to make sure, because obviously seeing these resins being so fine, it's not something that you want to be removing on a frequent basis. They're very light, they're very buoyant. So the idea was to make sure that once they're in that reactor, they can stay in that reactor for the longevity of their life. So what we came up with was obviously, we decided to supply these as a kit, so they come with a situ pump. And basically the idea of it is whether you decide to have your reactor submerged in your sump or have it externally next to your sump within your cabinet, that remains there. It's just a matter of grabbing the pump that's sitting in this sump, that's feeding this reactor, sitting it in a bucket in front of your cabinet, adding the solution into that bucket, and then just running that water through the reactor into that bucket. So, and then that is it. Once it's been recharged, it's just a matter of being able to get your outlet line and your pump and putting that back into your sump, and it's good to go again.
Awesome.
So, okay, so this is our next generation of resin reactors. So this is the larger version. Obviously, these ones here are good to handle up to 500 mils of resin. So that will do up to about a 900 litre volume tank. These ones here, this is just about finished. These are going to be sent off to the US, to Blue Life, so they can start undergoing all their testing on these ones as well. These are going to be rated for 1,000 plus litres. So we're going to be offering these two sizes. These, obviously, the smaller one is already on the market now. These ones will be on the market in coming months. So this is our CNC machine. This is obviously the hardest worker. This is the hardest worker. This does all of our cutting, does everything that we need, all our engraving, cuts all of our sumps out, cuts all of our acrylic out. Can't do the job without it. So that was probably the biggest risk in starting this business up, was investing in this machine, but it's definitely been worth it. So,
and apart from, obviously, for those who aren't familiar at home, you don't just drop the material on the CNC and press play and it just hands out.
Definitely not. Definitely not. So there's a process, obviously, to running a CNC machine. Much like a laser machine, they work pretty much on the same pretenses. You've obviously got a CAD software, so obviously there's quite a bit of design work on the CAD software first. Once you've done your initial designs, then obviously you need to tool the design. So obviously basically giving the machine instructions on what to do with that drawing, setting tool paths, setting what tools, obviously cutting bits you're going to be using to cut out what parts, and initially obviously to get the job done. So once you've done all that, then obviously you transfer that information into the CNC, which has its own built-in computer system, and then that basically codes everything automatically. Back in the day, obviously everything had to be manually coded. These days with technology, there's very near none coding when it comes to CNC and obviously laser machine usage. So so once all the information's been inputted into the CNC, you've got your controller here. Basically, you're using this controller to obviously set the machine up, set all the tone points, everything. You lay out your material and basically press play. And yeah, the machine starts cutting everything. Obviously, everything that machine does, you've instructed exactly what to do, exactly where to cut, where to start from, where it's going to finish. So, yeah.
And if only it was as easy as then taking a cut piece off the CNC and then selling it. But unfortunately, not many people are after...
flat pack.
Yeah, flat pack acrylic.
I wish it was a flat pack game, because, yeah, it'd be awesome.
Or acrylic frisbees.
Yes.
It takes a bit to get it from cut pieces from this machine into something like an ATO reservoir.
Oh, definitely. So obviously, once it's been cut, there's a lot of prep work involved in it. So obviously, making sure that all the edges are obviously prepped, ready for welding. So the way acrylic works is you're not actually gluing the seams. You're actually applying a solvent which actually melts the two edges together, which bonds it as one, basically like welding steel. So you really only have one go at it. So you got to make sure that the surfaces are prepped correctly. Everything's clamped. You got jigs, so everything's sort of exactly where it needs to be before you apply your solvents. So and then obviously, basically just putting it together like a jigsaw puzzle, pretty much. So. Basically, yeah. Then obviously, you've got all your sanding and polishing. We do couple different methods depending on the quality of the finish the person wants, which obviously comes down to the cost. We do hand polishing. We've got the polishing wheel over there, which we do a lot of our hand polishing on now. We also finish off with the raw edge flame polish as well. So that enables us to sort of keep our price a little bit cheaper, more competitive with the market, but still gives that high end finish as well. So. Yeah, so the name Hmahli is our youngest daughter's name. So we've got twin girls. The youngest one was fortunate enough to get the name. Mia being the one older by 4 minutes. I think she's sort of starting to get a little bit... What would you say?
Starting to get jealous?
Jealous, yeah.
So there could be a range
she's starting to realise, why has everything got Hmahli? Hmahli t-shirts, Hmahli everything. But I did tell her that she'll have a bigger share of the business, so just to level it out. So
we're not going to see a side range of Mia products anytime soon?
I thought about it, but no, I think we'll sort of just keep her as a silent partner at this stage. So it depends on the school results, so we'll play by that.
Nice. And is there any sort of final messages that you'd like to let the world know about Hmahli acrylic products?
We're coming.
Nice.
We're coming.
Nice.
So, look, not to big note myself, we're a family business. This is us. We're not a massive corporate company. We're a family business. I'm a one-man show, and we're slowly working our way. So we've got Eric from Blue Life USA who's gotten behind us, supporting us, really pushing our products in the States. We've got some huge things happening over there in the upcoming months. Obviously, Eric Cohen, huge supporter of the Australian products. He's gotten right behind Coral Essentials. They're really doing well up in the States. Eric's really driving their product. The product speaks for itself. And he's now doing the same with us with Hmahli, and things are going really well. We've got a few more things in the pipeline with designing of new products, with specifically with Eric Cohen. And yeah, we've got some huge things that are happening in the next few months. So
it's awesome to see. I mean, Australia's always been known in the reefing scene for our livestock export, and it's just nice to see our dry goods and our supplements as well. But yeah, our complete ecosystem of products from Australia now making it on the world scene. And
I think so, 100%.
All right, I'm going to have to bring an end to the Hmahli Marine Life Support System Tour video about here. I could talk all night with Eric, and in actual fact I did. Eric and his wife Kat were so hospitable to me. They gave me dinner. They made sure I was well hydrated, and we just had a really good chat. And I ended up leaving there quite late at night on a Sunday night of all times, when they've got young kids they've got to get to school the next day. So I just want to finish off with a huge thank you. It's quite an honour to be allowed into a facility like this and be shown the grassroots of a company that's just absolutely going leaps and bounds. So all I can say is, if you're an Aussie reefer, or even if you're an international reefer, get behind Hmahli. These guys make everything by hand, and they make it all with a huge amount of passion, and the quality reflects that more than any other product I've ever seen before. So thanks for the tour, thanks for watching, and yeah, keep watching Parker's Reefs. Thanks guys, bye.